Hello history fans, welcome back to the Historical Bake Off Week 3. How was tonight's episode? I hope it was good, I hope we all enjoyed. So from the little snippet we get at the end of last week, I think this week is bread week, and I think I saw them making the little cakes that the bread that looks like cake, so that links nicely back to our first episode when there wasn't much differentiation between bread and cake. But that's just me guessing, I don't know what they're actually making. But I did see them making pizza, so I want some dinner, so I'm going to make a pizza this week, and that's what we're going to talk about. Enjoy! So, at least 3 billion pizzas are sold a year just in America, and that fact is, I don't know when that comes from, so that might even be old, it might be even more now. But we have pizzas all the way back in ancient times. So since ancient times, people were eating flatbreads topped with different things as a simple snack on the go that mostly functioned for people who didn't have plates. So they were either on the go or they just couldn't afford plates. Ancient Egyptians and Romans ate topped flatbreads, and the Greeks had a version with herbs and oil, kind of like our focaccia today. We have evidence of them from antiquity through Virgil's Aeneid, when Aeneas's crew arrive in Latium and they lay out thin wheat cakes to eat. Did I say Latium? I think I said Latium. They then used mushrooms and herbs that they found in the woods to top these little cakes. And then they ate the whole things, which causes one of them to exclaim, "Look, we've eaten our plates." So that's the start of pizza, is thin, like wheat-like cakes topped with different things. But now we go to a Greek settlement founded in the year 600, and that is Naples. And it's in the 18th century Naples that we see pizza as we would recognise it today. So our story goes that under the Bourbon kings of the 18th century, Naples' population was growing massively and it was becoming a key city. And its population grew by 200,000 people over 48 years, which is quite a lot, but the people and the country couldn't keep up with the growing population and urbanisation, and a lot of people fell into poverty. This group of people that fell into poverty became known as the Lazzaroni, who mostly worked as labourers in this city that is now becoming one of the biggest in Europe. These labourers needed fast, cheap food. So in come street vendors carrying huge boxes of pizza, which is flatbread topped with different things, that they could cut up into just whatever you're hungry for or whatever you can afford. So this new pizza idea fits into people's budgets and time constraints. And in 1843, Alexandra Dumas writes in Le Coricolo that a 2-layer slice was a good breakfast, and families would spend 2 sous on a large pizza. They're similar to those we know about from ancient times, but they're now recognised as being simple and tasty and inexpensive and easy to make. The simplest were just topped with lard, salt and garlic, and they are then slowly introduced to the Americas, but because of their association with the poverty and the Lazzaroni, I don't know, I can't remember that name, but because they're now associated with this poverty class, they're hugely unpopular and food critics deem them as disgusting. In 1831, Samuel Morse, who you might know as the inventor of the telegraph, tells us that pizza is a species of the most nauseating cake covered over with slices of pomodoro or tomatoes and sprinkled with a little fish and black pepper, and I know not what other ingredients. It altogether looks like a piece of bread that has been taken reeking out of the sewer. So they're not very popular. And even in the 19th century we then have cookbooks, but they ignore pizza. There's no recipes, even though we have had a few pizza restaurants open up. But the history of pizza all changes in 1881. Why? Because King Umberto I and Queen Margarita are on a visit to Naples. So they weren't enjoying the French meals that they were being served, and the Queen requested some local delicacies instead. So Raphael Esposito cooks up some local specialities, and he makes 3 types of pizzas for her, but her favourite was made with tomatoes, mozzarella and basil, surprisingly, and that becomes named after her. So we have the Margarita Pizza. This means a big change for pizza because it's got the royal seal of approval and it becomes a national dish for Italy up there with pasta and polenta, but it doesn't immediately successfully move out of Naples. It doesn't even move to the rest of Italy until the 1940s. Even though we have the first pizzeria opening in New York in 1905, the first big move of pizza into America comes in the 1930s with migration. In the 1930s we see mass migration of Neapolitans, if that's their name, into the South countries for work, and then the Second World War massively accelerates this movement as well. Allied soldiers loved the dish and they requested it wherever they went, but it's not until after the war, with the decrease in the cost of travel and the boom of tourism, that we get Italy finally saying, okay, this is our national dish, yep, we like pizza. But America then also has a spread of pizza and they adapt it to their own taste, like we have the Texans' Chicago deep dish, deep crust pizzerias open up, and we have Rocky Mountain pies. In the 1950s we have the domestication of pizza with frozen pizzas and the commercialisation of pizza, which are both more Americanisations of an Italian dish. In the 1960s, Dominick's opens in Michigan and they grow a good reputation for having speedy delivery, and they later change their name to Domino's. This is yummy. You can very rarely go wrong with pizza, I think. But I hope you have enjoyed. I was a bit, when I saw pizzas on the advert, I was like, why is that bread week? But I suppose it's dough. If you would like a more bread specific recipe or history of bake-off episode, then let me know and maybe we'll do that further down the line after bake-off's finished. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that jazz, and I'll see you soon. Bye!